Yes, sir.
What's up,
Yes,
bro? What's
sir.
good with you, man?
The legend, the heavyweight champ of the flow, the
Yo,
Rock's very
I was
own.
knocked out, bro. I'm like, I woke up like, oh shit, let me call bro.
It's all good, man. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Alhamdulillah. Everything coming
Yes,
along
sir.
good.
First and foremost, man, how's it been navigating through this whole pandemic? Like, are you good? Is the family good?
Yeah,
Is
everything
there
coming.
higher risk for you because
Yeah,
of
it's
the
definitely
kidney?
higher risk, being as though I take immunosuppressant pills for my kidney. Because if I didn't, then my kidney would fail because it's a foreign organ in my body, and my body would naturally try to fight it. So anybody that had a transplant, they take immunosuppressant pills to help with their transplanted organs. So we all have to be like extra careful because our immune system is a little lower.
Word, but everyone's good though. Your family, everybody's good so far.
Yeah, everybody good so far. Thank
Word,
God.
is
How
it?
about you? How about your family?
Oh yeah,
Everybody
we're
straight?
good, man. Just locked in the house, trying to make the best out of a bad situation. Starting shit
Y'all
up
got that
like
good
this.
free health care up there though.
Yeah, yeah. That's a
Yeah,
bonus.
we
Yeah.
ain't blessed like that down here, man. But that's what's up though.
No, yeah. So you're in Philly right now?
I'm outside of Philly. I live like 30, 40 minutes from Philly.
Okay, word, man. Well, yeah, I just want to keep this real cool, man. There's a lot of questions I have. Like I said, you're one of my all-time favorite, man. And just as a
Appreciate that.
fan, I just want to. There's some questions I got. I just want to start at the beginning, man. I think me being from Canada, the first time I ever heard of like somebody being from Philly was like watching Fresh Prince after school every day, type of shit. You know what I mean? But they
Mm-hmm.
never really showed the Philly part of that show. It was mostly like the Bel Air, and it was like Will had some bad problem in Philly, but it never really pictured the Philly show. The Philly part of it. What can you tell us being from North Philly? What was it like, and what were you like as a kid? Were you always into music from young? And like,
Yeah,
what were your hobbies and shit?
I'm originally from West, then I moved to North. Probably like right before high school, I moved to North Philly with my cousins, and that's where I really like got into the streets and became the freeway that y'all know. That I talk about all the reality stuff that I went through. That really started when I moved to North Philly, but. As a younger kid, I always loved music. It was two things I wanted to do. I wanted to be a rapper and an airline pilot. When I was, when you was in school and they be like, "What you want to do when you grow up?" I used to be like, "I want to be a rapper and an airline pilot." And now that I'm a rapper, I fly just as much as an airline pilot. So
Shit, that's
kill
what's
two
up,
birds
man.
with one stone.
That's what's up, man. Was this around the time you had the Alf mask?
Oh man, this was I was rapping around the time I had the off mask, but I wasn't taking it serious, like what I'm saying. But I was always rapping in the lunch table. Yeah, the fucking Dirty Dozen, man. They jumped me and took my off mask, man. I told you
Tell us
about
about
that.
the Alf mask. What was the significance of the Alf mask?
It just was a dope mask, and we was younger, like what I'm saying. It was like a realistic mask with the hair and all. It looked just like Alf. And my mom told me not to take it to school, and I ain't listened to her. And I was coming home from school showing off with my mask, and them motherfucking Dirty Dozen rolled up on me. And I was trying to fight back, but it was like 8 of them. They jumped me and took my off mask.
Damn. Do you remember when you first heard hip hop? Like, do you remember what artist it was, what song it was, and who showed it to you?
In the beginning, like when I first really started getting into music, it was like I used to love like Black Sheep, like Naughty by Nature, um, Gangstar. Then of course, NWA, Big, Jay, of course, like Nas. I was a big Nas fan. They used to call me the Philly Nas when I first started like really rapping as a teenager. You know what I'm saying? So I'm influencing not only people that was on, but I grew up around a lot of dope ass rappers. Like, what I'm saying? A lot of people that might not have made it, but they were super dope. And I feel like all that helped me be the artist that I am now. Like, what I'm saying?
Bro, I feel like Philly, for some reason, like every artist got 1,000 bars on demand. Like you guys are known for that, like DVD era of just like people unloading, dropping thousands of bars. So was that always the thing? Like ever since you can remember, like
Yeah,
Philly
for
people
sure.
being known for
For
bars?
sure. Definitely. That's what we do. Like, what I'm saying? Everybody, how they say everybody and their grandma rap? Everybody and their grandma really rap in Philly. Like, nigga, grandma might give you some bars. Like,
No, that's crazy. We all know of the rapper. Casanova these days, but what can you tell us about Bassanova?
Oh shit. Bossa Nova Heat Hope. But let's say Bossa Nova show promoter, 7th and mode Heat over. Invite your sister over. Yeah, I mean, pull up in a cold what I say, Motorola and invite your sister over. Yeah, that was one of my rap names back in the day. By you know my attribute. I'm Muslim and my attribute is Basil. So they used to call me Bossa Nova. They used to call me Tommy Hill Basil. I had a lot of rap names.
That's crazy, man. I remember my first experience hearing you was I think it was 1-900 Hustler, and then it was 8 Miles and Running with Jay-Z on the 8 Mile soundtrack. And I'll be
Mm-hmm.
honest, as a kid, at first I didn't get it, bro. Like I said, you're one of my favorite artists of all time now. But as a kid, I was like, oh, he don't even rhyme. Like he's
Yeah,
not.
a lot of people say that, and I don't get offended because you know what I'm saying. Like my style is different, and you got to really like have some brain capacity or really pay attention to it, or I like it. You know, some people might not even like it. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
No, like that's what I was saying. Like when I started listening and developing more and training my ears more, I was like, man, he's rhyming at a superior level. Like you just gotta
Yeah.
pick the rhymes out. Like sometimes you might rhyme something here, then put a middle one, then come back to that one, then the middle one
hmm
go like it's all over the place. And that shit blew my mind back in the day. Where does that
hmm
style come from, being so unique and everything
I
like
don't
that?
know, bro. Like,
You there's
I don't
really
know,
no way.
man. Yeah, it's just something I did, you know, and it stuck with me.
There's no one.
I remember like when I first like got to Roc-a-fella, I used to like put like a lot of words and shit. I used to like had like a fucking 1,000 words in a 16. And Jay was like, you don't gotta put all those words in and everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could let it breathe sometimes. You don't gotta put all them words in one bar, one verse. So, you know, I started trying to do that. And then it like had me flipping my style a little bit. So that might be some of the reason why I do it like that. But hey, it's a blessing from God. When I go to make a rap, that's how it come out. You know what I'm saying? So
Yo, that's crazy, man. Speaking of that, when you go to make a rap, when I'm conversing with you, you're cool, super calm spoken, you know what I mean, laid back dude. But then when you get on that microphone, it's almost like a switch flicks. Like you're super animated.
mm-hmm.
Your voice is really loud. It's aggressive. It's almost kind of like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a Clark Kent Superman type thing. Like what makes you flick that switch and what is the difference between you as a person and when you get in that booth?
When I get in that booth, it's just a passion, like you know what I'm saying, it takes over me. And thank God now that I got a transplant, because when I was on dialysis for those 4 years, and even with the album Think Free that I put out, like it was hard for me to get that intensity. Like, you know what I'm saying? But with this new album that I just did that we about to put out and everything I've been doing since the transplant, like I had an intensity back, and it's, you know, you can hear it and you can feel it in the music.
No, that's what's up.
And
Lloyd
that
Banks in the
like
building.
a lot.
Shout out
Shout out
Lloyd Banks.
Lloyd Banks. What's up, bro? That's my bro, man. Lloyd Banks. I remember Lloyd a real nigga. We was in where was we at? We was somewhere. We flew there, and Lloyd, you know, went on they flew on a private jet, and and I think we like drove or we took regular planes or whatever. And this was back in the day when I used to burn crazy, and I ain't had no tree, and ain't nobody that was with me. Like people had tree, but wasn't nobody like, you know what I mean. Look out. This nigga Banks gave me like an ounce, like, here, free, you good, go ahead. I'm like, damn, that nigga thorough. Like, he always been thorough besides that, but that was thorough. You know, niggas
No,
ain't
I've
sharing.
always been a huge fan of Banks. And Banks, if you're still listening, man, I apologize for my co-host Pat Stay for talking shit about you on the podcast about the battle rap shit. Yo, I don't know if you've seen that, Free, but I do a podcast with battle rapper Pat Stay, like one of the best in the world.
Yeah, I know
And
Pat
we
Stay
were
dope,
talking
man.
about who would win, Pat
Pat
or
Stay
Lloyd
was trying to
Banks.
battle me before, but I don't battle. I went to a battle somewhere. I think it was like where was we at? We was in Rum City, in Rum Nitty City. And
Mhm.
Pat Stay was there. You know, I was with a couple people. Everybody was with a couple people. Pat strolled up by himself, all husky, like, yeah, it's Pat Stay. I was like, okay. He be in his bag though, but he can't come at the, yeah, I mean, at Lloyd, you know, Lloyd a legend.
Yeah, that shit would be crazy for the culture, man. We gotta make that happen, man. You spoke about Jay earlier, giving you advice. Do you remember the first time you spit for Jay, like in person?
Yeah, crazy thing is, First time I spit for Jay, he don't even remember because I asked him like once I got signed to him, I was like, "Yo, you remember when I spit for you like a year and a half ago?" He's like, "Nah, I don't remember that shit." But we was in Vegas at a Mike Tyson fight, Tyson versus Bofa, and I think that was in '99 because I just seen the actual fight on YouTube. I think it was like January 16th or something like that, and you know, my old heads was always heavy in the streets before, you know, before I got on, you know, we really was in the streets heavy. So we used to like fly around, go to fights and go to different events. So we was like in the back and we was like with Leor Cohen's and a bunch of other people, and it was Damon J. And I was like, "Yo, can I spit for you real quick?" And he was like, "All right." And I spit for him and he was vibing with it, but ain't nothing come out of it. And then like a year later, you know what I mean, we was doing 2 years later, we was doing Hot 97 that same month in January. Like it was dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the lesson for y'all. Like, even though like the first time might not work out for you, don't ever give up. Cause you know, I spit for Jay like a year, 2 years before I even was really working with him. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, it happened again and it was a blessing.
The Hot 97 shit, I don't think I've ever seen Jay on camera that excited about anything as when you were rapping. Like
Yeah.
I really don't think I've ever seen him that excited, genuinely. Like
Yeah.
crazy.
Jay is a rapper's rapper. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I really think he embraced me and really fuck with me because how different I am, and like I bring something different to the table. You know what I'm saying? He even talked about it in Decoded. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about my verse from What We Do, and he ain't really talking about nobody else bars in the book. So, you know, it's definitely, you know, a special connection with me and Big Homie. I appreciate all the love. Not to mention, you know, he gave me a new situation with Roc Nation in 2018 when I did Think Free. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes, sir.
definitely,
Congrats on
definitely a
that too, by
blessing.
the way.
Thank you. And
Yeah, man.
another lesson for y'all is it's important to stay silent and be the person who you are. Like, you know what I mean? People respect that and people love that. You know, when I went to Jay and I was like, "Yo, Big Homie, I need to make it happen." Like, he was like, "It's nothing." His exact words was like, "It's nothing, bro." Like, and then like a week later, we was getting paperwork done. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I said it on my new album too. I was like, new deal with Roc Nation, one conversation. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's facts.
That's crazy, man. Well, Free, man, I'm super happy for you, man. All you've been through and just me knowing what a good person you are, man, you truly deserve it, man. I'm glad that,
Thank you, bro.
you know what I mean, everything went back full 360, man, for you.
Yeah, it's
Um,
important to me, man. You know, I love making music, but you know, it's important to be where you started. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's definitely a blessing. If I didn't have it, I still would go hard. But to be able to have a cosign from a Big Homie, you know what I mean, is everything to me.
that's what's up, man. You spoke about the What We Do record. Can you tell us a little bit about the studio session? And was there any backlash from the label, like choosing that as a single? Like it's not a typical
Definitely,
single
definitely.
format. Like there's no hook.
That's exactly what
You
they
got so
said.
many
Like when we
bars.
wanted to use
Like
that joint for a single, especially back then, like they really tried to stick to the original format of verse hook. So when we originally wanted to be a single, the label was against it. They wasn't even with it. And the crazy thing is they play that shit to the day on the radio. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's a blessing. And, you know, when I first got on, a lot of people was like saying, even people that was with me that like brought me to Jay, like was like saying like, we don't even know if Free could do a whole album because his voice, people might get annoyed with his voice, but people love me for my voice, you know what I'm saying? So you can't never listen to what people say. If you believe in yourself and you believe in something, you gotta go hard at it.
no, I saw something the other day. It was like Stan Lee. They told him he was crazy when he had the idea for Spider-Man, and they all
Mm-hmm.
laughed at him or some shit. And then
I actually
he
met
said,
Stan Lee too. I did a back in the day, probably like 2003. I did a Freeway credit card, and Stan Lee worked with the company, and I got a chance to meet him and vibe with him out LA.
"That's
And I
crazy.
seen
Rest in peace,
all
Stan
these
Lee."
toys and everything that he came up with, like, you know what I mean, the wrestlers and everything, He Man and everything. I'm like, wow. You know what I mean, rest in peace to him.
Yes, sir. Um,
But as far as the session for What We Do, I picture being in the studio like anytime it could be. Fucking State Property in a room, Kanye in another room, Jay in another room. Like it was that type of environment at the time. So when I recorded the verse, what we do was me and Guru in there recording. So Jay was in the front playing pool. So I originally called him in there just to get him to say to keep going, because that's something that I got from Jay too. If you notice, Jay might put an extra voice or something. It might not even be a famous voice, just a voice to just bring something out. Like Jay the king of that. Like you might hear like a little chick in the back bouncing with him or shit. So nowadays it might even be Beyonce like coming in with a little 2 words or a little
Are
harmony
you
or something.
happy, ho? Like that type of shit. When she
Yeah,
came in
yeah,
on
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
like that. So that's something that I picked up from him. So I was like, damn, I got that from him. So it'd be dope to have him do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I really originally brought him in to just say to keep going. So he sat down, he listened to it. He sat on the table for like 5-10 minutes and he was like this and he was like mumbling to himself. Then he went in the booth. Oh, never slacking, man, zipping in the black. I was like, oh, it's about to go down. So he was like, I got a roll. I'll be back later on. I'm going to finish it later. Because, you know, I gave him a lot of bars. And he's like, I'm going to give him, like what you gave him, a lot of bars, but I got to go. I'll come back later. So before he came back, Beans wound up coming to the studio. And I was like, I just did this crazy joint with Jay for the album. Listen to it. And when he heard it, he's like, man, I'm jumping on this. So he put his verse on there and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, man. Classic record. You spoke about Beans. How did you meet Beans? I actually heard on your live the other day, but it was a dope story that I never really heard before. It was like you guys were, someone was battling or something, or
Yeah, there's a club in Philly called Club Dances, like a real popular club back in the day. Like all the youngs used to go there. And like it was like a legendary battle between Tommy Hill from Philly and Cameron, and like it used to be like legendary stuff going down in there. So one day Mac was in there. This was like before he got on, and he was battling, and it was like a couple people trying to battle him. So I was in the crowd like, "Yo, bro, I got you. I'm coming up there with you." He thought I was trying to come at him too, but I'm like, "No, I'm with you. I ain't gonna let him jump you." So he pulled me up on stage, and we just started chewing the other crew up, and we built a rapport from there. Like you know what I'm saying. And once he got on, you know, he told me that he was gonna come, he was gonna look out, and he did. And we had like a lot of people from the streets that you know we had dealings with, you know, on the street level, and shit. Like by the grace of God, everything connected, and wound up going up to Rap for J.
what's your advice? You spoke about being in the streets. What's your advice for maybe somebody who's watching this, who's in the streets, but they have another dream of doing something legit? What are some key points you could maybe give advice to make that transition successfully the way you did?
And you gotta take it serious, and to get to the next level. I know it's hard to say, like for somebody that's caught up in the streets. Like the way it happened for me was organically. Like you know what I'm saying. I wound up getting locked up, and you know I was on a run. The second time I rapped for Jay, the time that got me signed, I was on a run for possession with attempt to deliver. Like, so I was banking on that, like this for me to blow, and then, you know, get everything taken care of later on, and it wound up happening like that. But the best thing is to leave the streets alone, man, and focus on your goal. And it's hard to do, man. You got to really believe in yourself and know that you can make it happen, man. Because the streets ain't gonna do nothing but pull you down, especially nowadays with Instagram and Twitter and everybody talking about what they do on Instagram and being flashy. It might not even be you yourself, but if people know your business, somebody might rat on you. Nobody want, like, you know, a lot of people hate and don't want to see people successful, and it intensified with this Instagram and Twitter and people being able to see how you living, and you know people go on Instagram every day and be mad and be hating, and like even like, you know what I mean, it don't matter what level you are in life, it's always somebody that's doing it bigger than you and doing it better than you. And if you're not secure with yourself, that'll drive you crazy. Like going on Instagram and saying niggas throwing all this money and pulling up in all these foreigns and any chick they want and all that, and then all the bad chicks on the gram, you want to get them, but you regular and you can't. Like that shit take a toll on people's mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be a strong individual. You got to believe in yourself, and you got to feel like you can make it happen.
Was there ever a point where you felt like you couldn't make it happen, like that you wanted to quit and give up, like fuck this shit, or was it
The
you always
crazy
had?
thing is, before I even got on, like I always felt like I could do it. I always felt like I could make it happen. I just felt like it was a matter of time. Like, you know, especially like when I seen Eve and the Roots and then Beans, like people that I could actually see and touch do it from my city. I'm like, oh, all right, I know I could do it now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So even when I got on, like I was the only one that wasn't signed. Like Chris Neef, well before P, you know, PD came later, but like Chris Neef, Owen Sparks, they was all signed before I was signed. I just was coming around monster and shit. That's why even on when we did Hot 97, I wasn't signed yet. But I
Crazy.
was like, whenever somebody start rapping, I'm rapping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I had a point to prove and I did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it worked out for me. To a
No,
point,
that's
them niggas was like,
crazy.
oh shit, Free ain't signed, we ain't signed him yet. Cause I was around so much, like it seemed like I was signed. And then like different labels were trying to come at me because they knew I wasn't signed. But somebody imagine another label coming at you and you with the Roc. I'm like, it's the Roc. I'm not worrying about nothing. You got $1 million, I don't care. I'm rocking with my family. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm glad that I did that because we did something legendary that's, you know, never gonna be duplicated.
Facts. Speaking about being with The Roc and another label coming at you, in 2006, when you were still with The Roc, you did a deal with G Unit, which led to 50 and Jay both executive producing your Free at Last album, which was
Hmm.
crazy to me as a fan because like they're known for not being the best of friends
Yeah,
over
it
hip
was
hop
still, the
history.
crazy thing is it was still a little tension between them. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like Jay know the type of nigga I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he know it wasn't no malice behind it. And 50, like 50, my man, like when we was coming up, if you know this me and 50 album came out like around the same year. So we would be bumping into each other a lot doing different shows and 50 Thorough, like, you know what I mean? We got tight. And I remember the week his album dropped, I'm like, damn, you killing this shit. Like, I'm like, I hope I could do as good as you. And he's like, man, you with the Roc, your album career, you gonna do it too, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when he reached that level of success, he will always be like, Free, whatever I could do for you, I got you, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Let's make it happen. So we came up with the concept of him and Jay executive producing the album. I remember being meetings with 50. He like, man, you gonna sell $1 million the first week. You got me and Jay? Like, had me gassed. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh shit, like this shit about to be crazy. But you know, it was always a little tension between them because you know they both bosses. You know what I'm saying? And it wound up not working out at the end. But I still got a record for 50 on the album. You know, we still got a good relationship. So it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know me and Big Homie still got a great relationship. So
That's
it's a
what's up,
blessing.
man. You man, you kind of bounced around like you had a situation with Wayne at one point, didn't you? Or you were gonna do something with Wayne?
What happened was I was you know, I used to play Miami a lot. Like I used to live in Miami probably for like a year. I just like rented a condo, you know. I was like I used to fuck with Ross and like, you know what I mean? I used to be in Miami heavy and I would bring like the music and stuff back up NY. Like, yo, you got these niggas down there doing their thing. Like you got, you know what I mean, embrace them. Even Khaled, like, I used to be in Khaled crib way before any of them niggas knew Jay. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I always had a good connection down there.
What do
You
you
know what
think
I
the
mean?
key is to maintaining all these great relationships? Like, there's very few I've seen do it like you. Is it just like a humbleness, like letting go of ego? What advice would you give to maintain all these great relationships
I mean,
as you have?
you just gotta be yourself and you gotta be true to yourself. And you gotta be a man of your word. Like, you know what I'm saying? And people gotta know that they can rely on you and they can trust you. Even like as far as performing, like I've been doing shows since like 2001. And the reason why, I mean, of course, I'm dope. I'm a dope artist, but you know, times change. And the reason why I'm able to move around and still be successful and still able to make a lot of show money and stuff like that is because I'm respectful. I do my job. I'm there on time. Motherfuckers know they can rely on that. They know if they pay me for a performance, I'm going to entertain the crowd. They're going to get their money's worth. Like all them things matter. They know it's not going to be no whole bunch of back and forth and no negative stuff. They know I'm not bringing nobody negative with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So all those things count in life and in business. And if you want to have a successful business, people got to be able to rely on you and know that whatever product that you're supplying them, that you're going to do it and it's going to be on point. Like same thing when I was in the streets. Like, you know what I'm
Um, that's crazy, man. Great advice. I want to ask you about your religion. In 2003, I read like some Rolling Stone interview, and you said being a rapper and being Muslim do not mix, and you have a hard time balancing it.
saying?
We're now in 2020, 17 years later. Do you still
Yeah.
feel that tough thing balancing it, or have you accepted that this is your career choice and now you're kind of more comfortable with it?
Well, speaking of Islam and what we were just talking about, like before, when I just was telling you, like one of the attributes of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is that he was reliable. He was known to be very honest, and people trusted him. Like he used to do trade. He used to like help people with trade. Like back in his day, like merchandise and trading was very heavy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you would have like different merchants that would go from city to city to help people trade their goods and deal with their goods. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was one of those people that was most reliable. People would know they could leave their stuff with him and depend on him, and it would get done. You know what I'm saying? So I think me taking from him, and as a Muslim, you're supposed to strive to be like Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and apply that to whatever situation. So I applied that to my life and to my business and the music, and I feel like it worked out good for me. And as far as being a rapper in music, you know, it's a lot of scholars, and it's a lot of people in Islam that say music is haram, and haram means something unlawful or something that we should stay away from. You know what I'm saying? And me being Muslim, I know that, you know what I mean, in my heart. And it's a lot of people that will be like, oh, you don't, like, some music was allowed and poetry and different things was allowed at the time. But, you know, what I do and what I have accepted is I'm trying my best to be a good person and try my best to do the best that I can do in life, period. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I pray 5 times a day. I never forget God. You know, I always remember Allah. You know, God just helped me get through something major in my life. Like, I didn't know, was I going to ever get a kidney transplant, you know? So I'm extremely grateful to God, and I believe in him wholeheartedly. And, you know, I just try my best to be a good person and to do the best that I can do, you know? And as far as my career choice, yeah, I mean, God willing, it don't bring me down, Yom Kiyama, but, you know what I mean? It's a choice that I made, and I know, you know, what the consequences are. And as far as Islam, it's about balance. It's at the end of the day, when you die, you want your good deeds to outweigh your bad deeds. So I try to do as many good deeds as I can and try to just be a good person and try to embrace people and spread positiveness, and hopefully it'll work out for me on the day of judgment. That's why I always, throughout my career, I'm never like just, oh, fuck, shoot them out, bang, bang, fuck the bitch, this and that. Like, I always try to give you both sides, like the positive and the negative. Even with like one of my biggest records, What We Do Is Wrong. Like, I'm talking about being in the streets and selling drugs and all that stuff, but that was my reality at the time. And, you know, that's reality. That's life. Like, if my heat stopped working and I'm gonna rob me, like, that was where I was at that time in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's my truth. So people can't be mad at the truth.
Facts, man. Was that a religion you were born into, or was that something you later converted to?
Something I later converted to. I was, my mom was Christian. My father was, like, he always was different. Like, we used to go to this church when I was younger, and it was like an Afrocentric church. It was called like the Nation of the Kibbalan, and, like, you know, they had their own prophet in there. It was a guy that was walking around in there, and it was like, yeah, it's the prophet of the church. And then the guy that ran the church, his name was Baba. He had like all these wives, and like it was really like shirk. And in Islam, shirk is like basically going against the law and like making partners with Allah. So we have a man that's alive right now walking around talking about he a prophet. And once I got older and I studied different religions, I realized what a prophet is. And the last prophet that God promised us that was going to touch the earth is Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. You know, Prophet Isa, which is Jesus, is supposed to come back and establish, you know, Islam before the world is over and all that. But, you know, that's the reality behind that.
No, that's what's up. I noticed when I was out in Philly, and I think it's well known that there's a large Muslim population in Philly. Is there a history behind that, maybe as to why, you know, there's such a large community in Philly, maybe as compared to other places?
I mean, it's a large Islamic community, you know. I don't know exactly why, but I know that since there's so many Muslims in the city, it influences other people, even people that's not Muslim. Like, you might come to Philly and you'll see a person with a big beard and his pants legs cut off, and you'd be like, yo, sound like him. He'd be like, oh, what's up, homie? And he's not Muslim, but since it's a heavy Islamic community in Philadelphia, a lot of people are influenced by the Muslims. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's
No, that's
why it's
what's
like
up,
that in
man.
Philly.
That's what's up, man. I don't want to keep you too long, man, but a couple more questions, man. You have literally worked with everyone. You named Jay, Wayne, 50, Mariah Carey, Snoop Dogg.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody you haven't worked with yet? Maybe a producer, one or one artist that you would love to do something with before it's all said and done?
Definitely M. As far as artists, I want to do something with M. I want to do something with Drake. I want to do something with Young Thug. I love Young Thug, and uh, that's probably like on my high up list. That's probably who it is. But I love working with different people, and I like working with people that challenge me and make me want to go in and do something crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what inspires me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was thinking in my head like I wonder who you'd say, and I remember you did the free laps. You did like the whole Eminem mixtape over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I was
yeah.
like, all right, he probably a big Eminem fan.
For sure, for sure. And
Yeah,
then like
man.
being on that 8 miles and running, I remember I was in the stew. And like one thing about Jay, like people say what they want to say about Jay, and like people got different opinions of him. But Jay always gave everybody a fair shot. Like, you know what I'm saying? So niggas can't be mad. And he's actually a good person. Like, he gave Chris that shot with him and Pharrell, that nigga please. You know what I mean, on the album. And he did that with me with the 8 miles and running joint. Like I didn't even know the magnitude of that record. I just was in the studio, like, yo, I need you to jump on this joint. So I was like in the studio, he put the beat on, he had his verse on there. So I'm like, damn, I got it's Eminem joint. So I'm like, all right, I got Killer. So I'm in this stew, get my verse together, and it's taking a minute because I'm like, Jay and Eminem, I didn't even know if Eminem was gonna be on the record too. Like he just had his verse, like, yo, this is the shit I'm doing for Eminem. I need you to get on it. So I'm in there like, damn, I gotta really kill this shit. So I'm in there like probably like an hour. Jay kept coming and checking on me, like, yo, you don't got your verse ready yet? I'm like, nah. So I'm in that joint. This nigga coming there like, yo, he gave me some weed, like, yo, man, you never take this long, huh? Smoke this weed, dog. Hurry up. I'm like, this nigga said I'm taking long, so let me get it together. But it was definitely a blessing. I still perform that joint whenever I get a chance to. You know what I'm saying? So it's a
No,
blessing, man.
you killed that shit, man.
Mhm.
Before we leave, man, I always ask everybody top 5 dead or alive, and maybe not like skill wise or whatever, just your personal favorite. Like if we were to collect the data of everything you listen to in your life, who would be the 5 biggest ones for you personally?
I would say Jay, Pop, Big, uh, Nas, of course, and probably Beans.
I'm not mad at that, man. That's a
The
dope
top
list.
Petey definitely in my top 10. I think Petey might be my favorite rapper. Period. Like Petey Crack, he just didn't put out like albums for me to compare against the people that I mentioned, but shit that I heard and shit that he got, like in the level of his talent, like Petey is like one of my favorite rappers, boy. That nigga, boy. And Petey would be like, if I get come to some shit with Petey be like, Free, like, you could go harder than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I respect that from him, like, cause he really go in, like, you know what I'm
What was
saying?
that? What was that freestyle you guys had? It was like on YouTube back in the day. It was real bad quality. I think you had the headband, and it was maybe on a
Yeah,
Swiss Beats joint.
yeah, it was shout out to my man Big Star. He used to bring the cameras to the hood. Like we was out there, like that one was in the crib. We was at my man Tanner the Beast crib with Jack Frost. Shout out them too. They do their thing in the city. They part of the beer gang. But yeah, Star used to pull up to the hood. We out there selling crack with guns on our hips and all that. Star pull up to the hood with the cameras, like let's get some bars. And that's before anybody was really doing it. You know what I'm saying? So he got a lot of that footage and it's floating around in the streets. And then you got people like Smack that started doing the video DVDs. And every time we used to go up New York, we used to fuck with Smack. He used to come down fuck with us. So you know what I'm saying? We used to get it in. And that
Yeah, I
was
think I
before the
remember
film.
one of the Smack ones was on the Alchemist joint off the First Infantry. I think it might have been Styles P's beat.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
I say, yeah, and then I get to borrow
after
your back.
Styles,
So I'm gonna borrow your front. Let's play the blood game, trunk game, jump in the back, or get stuff in the back. Only faggots get something for the lunch. And motherfucker, I'm a hungry nigga. Man, I'm the only nigga that could kill this beat after Styles. My man used to go crazy over that joint. He like, yo, Free, this the hardest shit. You killed this shit.
bro,
Cause
that
it's
one
hard to
is
rap behind them niggas. Styles and kissing them niggas. What?
Bro,
I remember when I first came home from jail, like I told y'all, I was on a run for possession with intent to deliver, and shit started happening before that, and then I had to go to jail, and I was like, after I got out of jail, I was on house arrest, and Beans was like, I'm here, like shit gonna be crazy. As soon as you get off house arrest, you're gonna be with me, and he had me with him. But when I first got out of jail, my man came and picked me up, and he was fucking playing the locks shit. Like I'm like, these niggas is going in. And they used to do like I used to like mix that Spanish shit in my raps a lot too, because I'm from North Philly. So like little bitches from high school was like, yo, I heard you on the radio, like when it was the locks. And I'm like, no, that's not me. They just on the same shit that we on. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was dope though. Like, but when I heard them niggas when I came out of jail, I heard that we are the streets. I'm like, yo, this shit is fucking crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? They was
no,
really
that's
going in,
crazy,
and there was
man.
so many similarities. You know what I mean? Because you know they from the hood too. It's just different city.
Speaking about competition and maybe competition with people you respect, you said they used to call you Lil Nas. What was the building like during the takeover and Ether whole shit? Like, I know you got a diss record on Nas. Did that hurt you to do that shit? Like, what was
What?
that?
That hurt my heart. I love Nas, bro. I remember when I did this shit, I pulled up in the hood and niggas was mad at me. Like, yo, you diss Nas? Who you think you is? Like, nigga, you out here with us and you fucking dissing Nas. I'm like, bro, like, he came at the team. Like, what you expect me to do? Like, if a nigga did something to y'all gonna want me to be right there with y'all? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but like, niggas was heated with me because I dissed Nas. But, you know, it was what it was. I remember after the shit was over, you remember the Rock Boys video? And
Yeah,
Nas
yeah,
was
yeah.
there. So I got in the video and I had to leave because I had a show that same night. So me and Nas wound up leaving out at the same time. So I'm like, damn, bro, like, I was like, I know I diss you, but I really like fuck with your music. Like, I'm really a huge fan. I love your shit. He like, yo, Free, I love your shit too. I listen to your shit all the time too. Like, you know what I mean? Then we gave each other a hug. And then he jumped in Jay Maybach. He jumped in the wrong Maybach. He got out like, this ain't my Maybach. Because him and Jay like had the same color Maybach, you know, rich nigga problems. But I was like, damn, that was dope that I actually got to, you know what I mean, talk to him and let him know. I remember he came to Philly and performed like in the middle of the shit, like, you know what I'm saying, while it was going on. And I was there. So that nigga wouldn't come out for like an hour. So, you know, it's Philly, my city. I'm like, I wound up going on stage performing Rock the Mic and What We Do before he came out and everything. Like, so the nigga
Damn.
really wasn't came, like these niggas in here, these Philly niggas. So he came on stage and he was like, shout out to Freeway. This was before, like, this was still in the middle of the shit. This was before I even talked to him at the video. This was like, while the shit was still going on. So he came on stage and like, yeah, shout out to Freeway. You in the building. You my brother and I love you. He was like super political. But I got to do this. And then Aoife came on and shit. I can't even be mad at him. I'm like, man,
Oh,
wait.
shit.
And I had love for Nas anyway. So, like, we ain't even act goofy or nothing. You know, nor like, it would have been like some nigga I ain't fuck with, or it would have been like some real tension or something. They went, you know what I mean? It would have got goofy in that joint. But I always had love and respect for Nas and, you know, his contribution to the music. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely, before it's all, he on my list too, for sure.
I was
Before
gonna
it's,
say that.
before it's all over, I definitely want to get something with Nas. I got something that he could jump on for the new album. I'm probably going to reach out and see if I can make it happen.
Yeah, man, that would be incredible. Yo, I know you're a busy dude. I won't keep you, bro. I got one more question. It's about I think the joint is unreleased, but it's one of my favorite joints ever, and it actually taught me so much about how to rap, like rhyme schemes and everything. I'm not gonna say the word, but it's with you and Beans. It's Philly N words blank.
Oh, yeah.
Kanye produced it. That shit was stupid.
Why you ain't
Like,
say the word?
what's that?
Why you ain't say the word?
Man, I'm not gonna say that word.
I'll be at my shows like sometimes before I do what we do, I'll be like, this shit right here, this shit right, you know, I'd be like, this shit right here, nigga. And I'd be like, yo, it's the one time that all the white people in the crowd can say nigga. Y'all got my pass. I ain't gonna let nobody do nothing to y'all. They be like the crowd like some people be like, nigga.
Oh, fuck. Dang.
That shit crazy. Just a little humor, a little comedy. Yeah, but that's called Philly niggas. At that time, that's like when I first started coming around. I had like so many concepts and ideas, and Beans like was the perfect person to bounce them back and forth with. So at that time, that was baseline. We was doing 4 or 5 records a night. You know what I mean? Getting beats from Kanye. We got a lot of stuff that's unreleased from that era. That's crazy. But that joint Philly niggas, that's Freeway fresh off the block, spitting the facts. Like, you know what I mean? Philly niggas that adapt to crime. Chilly niggas since we link with Rock. North Philly niggas. North Philly niggas that'll squeeze the Glock. Pray Allah don't snatch our soul before Salat. Like as a Muslim, that's one thing that you pray for, that you make it to the next Salat and you're able to worship Allah again. So niggas in the streets felt that. Like, pray Allah don't snatch my soul before Salah. How can you not feel that? Like, it's so true. Like, who wants the law to take their life before they get to the next prayer? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the unadulterated price. Still smell like crack. Just came off the block, went straight to baseline. I'm strapped in New York. Like, that's all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we get pulled over, we might go to jail for 20 years. All that was in them bars. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's crazy. Another one from that era was Got Nowhere. You remember that one?
Yeah. Got nowhere to go. Crazy thing about that is
Kanye used the hook over. He used the hook. We in the streets play Get Your Man.
Yeah.
And then you ended up being on the song he reused it on.
Yeah.
Because that was on 2 words, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro. Crazy thing about that is, man, that night we was in Miami. Like, we was working on Beans and Bleak was supposed to work on the album. We was working on State Property. That's like around the same time I did Rock the Mic and all that. And we were actually supposed to do a record with Aaliyah. We were supposed to do a remix for her, me and Beans. So that's the night Aaliyah died, bro. Like, we was waiting for her to come, and our fucking plane crashed, bro. And like Dane was like going crazy. Like, that shit was crazy, bro. Like, it was real touchy. That's why, like, in my verse, if you notice, I'm like, seems like we grind from the bottom just to make it to the bottom. See places of the people that I shot when I get high late and I float through the bottom. My aunt house, one of the places that I stop. Like, when I'm telling the truth in my raps, that's when it be the best shit. I was like, see, she just died. She got cancer from smoking and drinking the same shit that I'm drinking and smoking. I can't lie. What's life would just open his handcuffs and let me go. Feel like I'm doing the bit. I can't slide. This is where these bars came from after that. And you'll see why. Well, for me telling you that was the night Aaliyah died. I was like, so what, I'm a rapper. I can't escape the wrath of Allah if I crash up my whip or get blasted in the jaw, prick master this fifth. Or I might go triple platinum, become a household name. Like, this was the beginning, like before everybody really knew who I was. And I was like, or I might go triple platinum, become a household name after a long day of out of town work, make my way to the plane fast in the drift. Hearing Mayday, controls out of work. How on earth can life end like this? Nowhere to go. Like, rest in peace, Aaliyah. But, you know, that shit, you know what I mean, touched me that night. And I had to say something about it in my bars. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I got goosebumps off of that shit. Wow, man.
Shit,
I
man,
didn't know that.
Yeah, bro. Like, that, I almost cry right now, bro. Like, just like, you know what I mean? Me and Dame, like, I always got love for him, and he did a lot for us. Like, contrary to what people believe, like, you know, Jay always been a man, but Jay had so much shit going on at the time. He wasn't really around us as much. And Dame used to always be around us. Like Dame, like, used to do shit for niggas. He was the first person telling me, make sure you pay your taxes. And, like, you know what I'm saying? So I always got a special place in my heart for Dame and love for him, no matter what nobody say. You know what I'm saying? So seeing him hurt, and like, can you imagine that, bro? Like, your fucking girl, plane just crashed. I don't care how many millions you got and like what's going on in your life. That's man, like, that shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, God bless Aaliyah and her family, and, you know, God bless my bro Dane, man. You know, it was a rough time, but, you know, here we are, 2020. We still kicking and moving. You know what I'm saying? So.
No, facts. Rest in peace to Aaliyah, man.
For sure.
That's crazy, Free. Before we go, man, what can we look forward to? You said you got the new album. Can we look forward to more like storytelling shit like that? Like,
I got some of that. I got, like, bro, I got a story to tell, bro. Like, I just been through so much. I ain't know if I was gonna make it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So this album is filled with all that. And being on the other side, the celebration, like, you know what I mean, the being able to be back in the studio 2, 3 in the morning, and being able to run around without having to be on dialysis, like being grateful to God for overcoming all that. Like all that stuff is in the album, man. This album is incredible. Like people that come to the studio and hear the album, they like, bro, this the best shit you did since Philadelphia Freeway. It might even be better than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So y'all gotta get ready. This album gonna be crazy. Shout out to Certified. Shout out my bro, I Am Business. Shout out PI Money Bags. You know, they the producers that work with me throughout the whole project, man. This shit is incredible, bro.
Hey, man, I can't wait to hear it, man. You can send me a sneak peek if you want, but I'm not gonna beg. But
Ain't no sneak peeks popping off, but I got you though. As soon as I can, like, you know what I'm saying? This shit, I don't even got it. Like, I got like little pieces. Like, what I did was I'll be in the studio and I'll be recording it on my voice notes. And I'll just listen to that shit in the car or something. But I don't have none of the actual records in my phone and nothing. It's serious. Like,
damn.
it's big business, bro. Like, this album, I feel like this gonna be the one. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, man. I remember when I came to Philly, and I forget what album you were on, but we were riding around Philly, and you played me a whole new album, and
Yeah.
I'm in the passenger seat, and I'm looking over, I'm like, I'm really riding around Philly right now with Freeway, listening to his unreleased album. I was like, oh
Yeah,
my
the
God, like,
legendary shit, bro. Yeah.
yeah,
I respect you too for coming to the city. You know, a lot of motherfuckers, boy. Niggas ain't coming to Philly to do no videos and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I
respect.
remember asking you, I was like, are we cool out here? You were like, yeah, we
Yeah,
good.
you with me, bro. You know, we was good, bro. We was solid. We was solid.
Hey, man, Free, I really appreciate you,
In my
man.
city, like, you know what I mean? No matter where you at, like, you know what I mean, you gotta respect whatever city you in, man, because you know, it's other niggas' city, so you gotta respect that. But as far as in my city, you good, bro, whenever you come to Philly.
My God, Free, thank you so much, man, for coming on here. Like, it means the world, bro. I really appreciate it, bro.
It's all
You're
good,
fucking
bro.
one of my favorite artists, like I said, but you're a real fucking dude, man. And I really appreciate you taking the time, man. All love, man.
It's all good, bro, for sure, man. Keep doing your thing too, bro. You know.
Thank you, man. I
Hopefully I'll be
might.
back out of this. I'll be back out of there soon. Be back out there soon when all this shit over. You in Halifax, right?
Yes, sir.
They
Do
stopped
you
me.
remember that
Yeah,
shit?
yeah, they stopped me at the border. That shit was crazy. Crazy thing about that too is this was a long time ago. This was back in the day. I had flew something from the West Coast to meet me out there, and they wouldn't let me in the joint. I'm like, oh shit, this shit crazy. They had to fly all the way back, and like that was crazy. Shout out my boy Set Free. You know, he got the compound, and you know he doing this thing with so many different areas in art, music, sports. Like my man Set Free. Make sure y'all follow him. I am Set Free, solid bro, and we got the same name. Yeah, hella facts. That's why I was like, and like I told you, shout out Uncle O. Like I told you, I'm a reality rapper, so you know I had to put that in the fucking bar after that.
With Meek Mill and Young Chris.
Yeah, but I said I spit hella facts. So hella facts, they some shit. I spit hella facts. That's why they ain't let me in hella facts or some shit. Like,
Yeah. Bro, you were supposed to
but
be in
I'm
my
good now though, bro. Like I got because that shit happened to me a couple more times, and you know I do like a lot of like Islamic lectures and stuff like that. So I was doing like a lecture, and in Canada, and the people that was bringing me there, called like I think he's like the first black man on Parliament. I think his name is like Alvin Curley or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. I'm not
He
sure.
worked. He like was on the Parliament. That's y'all like judicial system and all that stuff out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he made a call and got your boy in, and ever since then we've been gravy.
Oh shit, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you were supposed to be in my video. I had to leave the shoot. I had to write a new
I
verse,
am
record
business.
it.
Shout out Biz. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Like that shit was gonna be legendary, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man.
Shout out China Mac on the joint. Shout out Uncle O. Yeah, man. But you know, he made it to Philly. We got it done. So
Yes, sir. All right, Free, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
it's all good, bro. Anytime.
All love, bro.
All right, 100.
All right, bro. Peace.
Yeah.